This is my card. These are my people. All right, you guys. Have you ever been amazed by food before? It's a special feeling, right? I like to introduce the idea today that cooking at home is probably the best thing for your all-around health and can be just as delicious and amazing as the food that you're thinking about. When I bring that one meal to mind, or that one experience to mind that you've had, whether you've come and had a dining experience with me or with him, we all know food can be amazing, right? Food can be much more nutritious at home and can be much better for you. So let's talk about the problem with not cooking your own food or from scratch, right? If you're buying pre-made Prego sauce or you're buying stuff that's always frozen and you're just pre-preparing it at home, it's full of nonsense. It's full of fillers and preservatives and just like poor quality food, even if it is a whole food ingredient, right? The oils they use are worse. The tortillas they use in taquitos are worse. The meat is terrible, right? You don't get the same nutrition value when you just use pre-prepared ingredients, which is why I propose that everybody should learn to cook their food from scratch, because you avoid all of those items as well, right? It's also more expensive in the long run, right? You can buy in bulk at Costco, but at the end of the day, if you're making your own food from scratch, it's gonna be cheaper for you. It's a very common misconception that cooking food at home is expensive or that it requires expensive tools. Cooking at home has been the only option for centuries and centuries, and we're kind of losing that as a society, especially here in the United States. So I'd like to propose to you today that each of you take a initiative to learn to cook from scratch. In order to learn to cook from scratch, there's a very simple system. It's the way I was trained. I've been in the food and beverage industry for over 6 years now. This is my life. This is what I do. I've both cooked and served. I've been around food the entire time. Learning to cook is all about mastering technique. If you can learn how to fry something properly, you can fry anything properly. If you can learn to cut and use your knife, you're gonna be very quick with it, right? People are scared of their knife. People are scared of cooking at home because it's dangerous. There's fire, there's knives, and I don't know what I'm doing. It just takes a little practice, really, right? And as someone who's learned to cook, and some of the people who have been in the room during my learning process, you're gonna make mistakes, right? You're gonna have a really bad sauce. You're gonna burn stuff. I see some smiles, but I can poke it right back at you, right? But it's about technique. It's about understanding your ingredients. It's about understanding the difference between baking and braising and boiling, and what that really means to the food as you move forward through your processes, right? And then it's cheaper and it's better for you. Making a tomato sauce from scratch with whole tomatoes, onions, garlic, instead of just buying something that's been filled with like onion powder and cheap tomatoes and blended into a jar, you're gonna get way more nutrients, and you're gonna get honestly more for your money. You can make way more tomato sauce, and you can preserve it, you can freeze it, you can can it, and you maintain your nutritional value in a way that processed food just doesn't have the ability to do for you, right? And it'll increase your longevity of life. Having healthy scratch-made food is better for your mental health, right? Because your body isn't constantly weighed down by all of this extra junk that it's processing and filtering. The higher nutrition content is obviously preserved when you cook from scratch in comparison to stuff that's been just put through a machine. So I want to take all of that information. I want to give it to you. Cooking from scratch improves every part of your life, your mental health as well, because you're not weighed down by your immune system, by your digestive system, constantly working to eat all of that food and to process it into your body. So with that, I hope you feel inspired to eat food and cook from scratch and make more nutritious meals at home. Thank you.